on how to handle those types of avenues for marketing your business. Talking about this business plan, from what I've heard so far, it sounds like a social service that you're going to provide. The challenge with social services is who's going to pay for it. So that'll be a major challenge for you to overcome. And I believe that the National Science Foundation or the other grants are a great way to look for that. If you have solid, steady income streams, a conventional bank might look at doing something. School district cooperation is going to be paramount, a memorandum of understanding, so the bank can look and say that you have a long-term viability in the school district and not just a handshake agreement with one or two teachers. Of course, liability insurance, it depends on what age the kids are, but when you talked about the trailer and unfolding it, and you're going to have woodworking tools, welding tools, and
right.
If you're alone and you have 30 students, it's going to be hard to make sure somebody doesn't take a chisel and go, "What's this?"
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Yeah. And you mentioned educating students so they can go through the community and work on the homes. I would suggest talking to someone about legal advice. I believe to do that, you might need to be a licensed contractor, but make sure you protect yourself in everything that you do so that you can continue doing business tomorrow. Just wanted to bring those few things up and add on to what Lydia has already said and what these gentlemen have said, so thank you.
Can I ask a few questions? Or I don't want to go ahead, yeah.
Finish up and then we can.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Well, first, let me hand out a couple of things. My arena, I'm Christy Giroux with Compound Profit. We do alternative lending. So when the bankers have to say no and these other individuals are not able to help, then we try to step in and see if there's something we might be able to do in that circumstance to assist. So, shifting around, to back that direction. This way you'll have something to take with you. It has a couple of examples.
Okay.
There are a lot of different options out there. Obviously, if you can go through your traditional lending sources, the money's going to be cheaper. So you always want to check those sources first. What is it that you have personally that you can do? What is it that is it friends, family? We haven't talked about other kinds of things that I'll bring up, but there are a lot of different options that you have. Maybe you have cash value and life insurance that you could tap into and borrow against. Maybe you have money in a 401k or an IRA that you could borrow against. It has nothing to do with me. Those are assets that you have that you may not have thought about. And so it's critical that you think about really the whole big scheme of things of what you do have. You mentioned the reverse mortgage. There's all different kinds of ways. It may be taking out a second mortgage or refinancing to get poolable cash out if you have any equity in property. I have a business owner who owned their car outright, had bought it in 2008 before the market dived, and had bought it outright, and it's a $45,000 vehicle, and they hadn't even thought about the fact that they could go get a loan on it, just from a lender, from the bank or somebody else, and actually use some of the equity in that vehicle and just make payments on the vehicle and have a lump sum. So a lot of different options out there. You just got to think through all of the umbrella of things that might be possible for you for your cheapest money. Okay, friends and family, critical element. Who is there out there that can help me with this? And you're reaching out to the 501c3s and who are these nonprofits out there that might also have some money that they would be interested in helping me. So reach out to all the possible resources first that might have the money that is less expensive or free. Free is always good. We all like free, but it's not as easy to get some of the special money these days as it used to be. Angel investors and venture capitalists are a lot harder to reach out to. So they are being very picky, and with all these market ups and downs, people are stepping back and saying, I don't know what I want to do here. Maybe I'm just going to keep it stashed for now. So there is a little more difficulty in some of those private arenas to get money. But know that is out there if you are stumped and some of the new banking regulations are keeping you from being able to get some bank financing. Alternative includes a lot of different things. I have lots of things listed on here. Accounts receivable financing. It's for a manufacturing company. It could be purchase order, inventory, a lot of different alternatives. We have certain areas, we can work in a lot of these arenas. In our company, there's a lot of companies out there. I would say beware of things that are just on the internet where you don't get to, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, okay? So be cautious. Check your Better Business Bureau, ask for references, protect yourself, okay? Because there are a lot of shysters out there. That's not us, but I'm just going to say that there are. Okay, we've got a great Better Business rating. But I want you to be safe. Okay, and it's critical in this day and age. A lot of people that are starting businesses that I'm talking to have gone with some group that's put together an online something for them, and then they can't make any money, and they've got a lot of money invested, and they're not making anything. So just be careful. That's what I would suggest. Key elements that we have, there are business revenue loans. So if you've got a good business revenue stream of $150,000 or more, there's our companies that will lend to you based on your business revenues, gross revenues, not even just net. There are businesses that will do cash advances based on your credit card processing, or a line of credit based on your credit card processing, which is where we come in. Equipment lease financing. Maybe you want to buy that piece of equipment outright, but you don't have the capital to be able to do it. Consider equipment lease financing. Whether it's through the entity, or if that entity doesn't offer it, then through somebody like us who can work with other companies to try to provide that for you. And then we buy it and then you lease it from us. A lot of possibilities here. So I've got a handful of specific examples that may give you a little better idea. One is related to unsecured business financing. And a lot of times you can go to your bank and get a specific amount of money. And you may go in and you want to get a business credit card, or you want to get a loan, and the credit card is what they can offer you. It may not be enough. You go to several banks, it's going to be inquiries on your credit, and pretty much everything that you do is going to require a personal signed guarantee, and they are going to check your credit. Okay, very few things these days don't require checking your credit. You go renew your cell phone plan, they're checking your credit. Okay, everything requires checking your personal credit. For those businesses that have crunched their credit, they've maxed out all their credit cards and everything. We try to reach them before that, but they're putting all this on their personal credit cards. Remember, that's going to impact your personal credit. So if you're maxing out a lot of credit cards as you're trying to start the business, be careful, because lenders are going to look at that, and they're going to see, how are you paying? Do you have the money to pay all of that plus my loan? How are you managing debt, and how much debt do you have? And they look at all of that and they say, what do we want to do with this? So believe me, we don't want you maxing out your personal credit cards to do this, if there's any way not to. In the unsecured arena, what we do is we try, and a lot of lenders are out there doing this now, we try to go out and find you either one or multiple lines of business credit through credit card programs. And we work with multiple lenders across the country. Right now, I think we have about 600 that we work with. Not all banks, there are a variety of different kinds of institutions. And there's a fee that's charged. And the fee, for some companies, they charge it up front. Beware. That doesn't mean they may not guarantee what they're going to do for you. And a lot of times there's this stuff in the little print that will say, if you screw up your credit along the way while you're enrolled in this program, we don't owe you anything back. Okay? So it becomes very important that you're not signing anything that says that where you're having to pay them thousands of dollars up front, and they're saying, oh, well, we're going to get you this much money. Here are the ads about $400,000, we're going to get you business credit, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Only pay us this much money up front, and we'll go do that for you. Beware. Okay? There are programs, though, that will work with you to make this happen, and your payment will be on the back end based on the amount. So success-based is very important, okay? The goal is to also help you build business credit, right, so that you can establish your business and your business credit, so that you have some lending history for the business, and take the burden off your personal credit. So that's one of the options that is available. Had a new startup that we were able to work with, and we acquired 126 plus for their company. One of the express loans for $30,000 for them, and some equipment leasing in addition to that for about $30,000. So they were able to establish a new business using some of that. They had their own personal assets as well. This was just an additional piece to give them a cushion and allow them to get the doors open. That's one option. Accounts receivable financing, something that's been used for about 300 years. Started over in Europe, and it's also in the banking